todos.
Welcome to those here and those online
Bienvenidos a todos los que están aquí, los que están en línea
and those who are yet to come.
y todos a los que van a venir.
Today's topic,
El tópico de hoy,
and I'm going to give you all my notes,
y le daré todas mis notas,
it's about 11 pages.
11 páginas.
Pastor Angel loves when I have a lot of notes, doesn't he?
Pastor Ángela ama cuando ella tiene
Doesn't
muchas
that
páginas.
sound like he's excited about
Yes,
the notes?
yes, he's really excited.
He is.
Muchas notas.
So we're going to be reading out of Matthew 14
Vamos a estar leyendo Mateo 14,
from verses 15 on.
del versículo en adelante, 15 en adelante.
I'm really only going to focus in on verse 27, but I'm going to give you a history of the story. So if you look up Matthew 14, you can at least be from verses 15 to 27. Those are the areas I'm going to be in.
So, nos vamos a enfocar en el versículo 27, pero le voy a dar toda la historia para que usted esté familiarizado con lo que vamos a
It's the
hablar.
history of what we're focusing
Es
in.
la historia de lo cual nos vamos a enfocar.
We're going to start in 22 right now.
Vamos a comenzar en el versículo 22 ahora.
Amen. Immediately Jesus made the disciples get into the boat and go on ahead of him to the other side, while he dismissed the crowd. After he dismissed them, he went up on the mountainside by himself to pray. Later that night he was there alone, and the boat was already considerable distance from the land, buffeted by the waves because the wind was against it. Shortly before dawn, Jesus went out to them, walking on the lake. When the disciples saw him walking on the lake, they were terrified. "It is a ghost," they said, and they cried out in fear. But Jesus immediately said to them, "Take courage. It is I. Don't be afraid."
Enseguida Jesús hizo que los discípulos subieran a la barca y se adelantaran al otro lado mientras él despedía a la multitud. Después de despedir a la gente, subió a la montaña para orar a solas. Al anochecer estaba allí él solo. Y la barca ya estaba bastante lejos de la tierra, zarandeada por las olas, porque el viento le era contrario. En la madrugada Jesús se acercó a ellos caminando sobre el lago. Cuando los discípulos lo vieron caminando sobre el agua, quedaron aterrados. "Es un fantasma", gritaron de miedo. Pero Jesús le dijo enseguida, "Cálmense, yo soy, no tengan miedo."
Amen. So the topic today is "It is I."
El tópico de hoy es yo soy.
I'm going to give you some background to this story. You don't need to sit there and read it. I just want you to
Se le voy a
focus
dar un
in.
poquito de la historia de todo. Usted solo no tiene que leerlo, sino prestar atención.
So this originally starts like in Matthew 15, like more or less just giving you that, or Matthew 14 verses 15, sorry. Stay
So,
where you're
esto
at.
principalmente comienza en Mateo 15.
And so the disciples wanted Jesus to send the people away.
Los discípulos querían que Jesús enviara a los discípulos afuera.
If we know the history of the story, there was 5,000 men.
Si vemos la historia, habían 5,000 hombres.
With that,
Con eso,
there was women
había mujeres
and there was children.
y había niños.
So we always hear the 5,000 and we focus in on the 5,000.
Siempre oímos los 5,000 y nos enfocamos en los 5,000.
But the miracle was greater
Pero el milagro fue más grande.
because the count for the women and the children, there was no count.
Porque la cuenta de los niños y las mujeres no lo contaron.
And if you estimate
Sí.
between, like say for instance, every man had a wife,
Si tú estimas, si cada hombre tenía una mujer, una
you,
esposa,
you already have 10,000.
tú ya ahí nada más tienes 10,000.
And then if you add like 2 children to every family,
Si tú añades 2 niños a cada
Minimum.
familia,
we know they didn't have the birth control we have right now.
sabemos que no tenían el control de la pastilla para,
Birth control, just in general,
sí, que no tenían como ahora,
para evitar.
para
you know.
evitar los hijos.
So you're talking about 2 times 10? I mean, 2 times 5.
is
2
10.
times 5 is 10. So
Sí.
you're guesstimating about 20,000 people.
Tú estimas alrededor de 20,000 personas.
That's a large amount of people.
Eso es una gran cantidad de
And we're just
personas.
putting an average because you know in the past, like even our past, if you look at our grandparents,
Si usted mira al pasado y tú miras a nuestros abuelos,
generally they had like 8 to or above kids. I
But-
don't know if that's true for you, but like
General-
in every family I know, it's like 8 to 10 or more.
generalmente tenían de 8 a 10 hijos. Yo no sé ustedes, pero realmente los abuelos eran así.
So we're just saying minimum there was about 20,000 people there.
Mínimo alrededor habían de 20,000 personas ahí.
So now you look at the 5 loaves and 2 fish a little different,
Si tú miras los 5 panes y los 2 peces,
right? Because I only told you it was 5,000.
Yes.
mira, son 5,000.
But he fed an average minimum.
Pero si él le dio de comer a mínimo
20,000 people were fed with 5 loaves and 2 fish.
alrededor de 20,000 personas con 5 panes y 2 peces.
that makes you look at the story a little bit different.
Se le hace ver la historia
And
un
he
poquito
didn't
más
want, the
diferente.
disciples were like, Jesus sent them away. Like, you
Los
can't feed them. Let them go eat and they can come back or whatever.
Los discípulos querían que los enviara afuera y Jesús les dijo, no, déjalo que coman.
And he's like, he actually just said no.
Actualmente él dijo, no,
He said, feed them.
dale de comer.
And he's like, I only got this. You know, we only have 5 loaves and 2 fish.
Solamente tenemos 5 panes y 2
And
peces.
he said, give it to me.
Él dijo, démelo a
He
mí.
took the 5 loaves, 2 fish.
Tú cogió los 5 panes y los 2
And he
peces
raised it to heaven and thanked God.
y los levantó y le dio gracias a Dios.
When he was thanking God, he was already thanking God for the miracle that was done.
Y cuando le estaba dando gracias, ya le estaba dando gracias por el milagro que estaba
He
sucediendo.
wasn't praying for a miracle to happen.
No estaba orando por un milagro que sucediera.
He was thanking God for the miracle that had happened.
Estaba dándole gracias a Dios por el milagro que ya había
So
sucedido.
when we look at this template of Jesus giving us an example of life,
Cuando miramos esto, que Jesús que nos da el ejemplo de nuestra vida, para nuestra vida,
it's real specific. He gives us instructions to believe.
Él nos da instrucciones específicas para creer.
All he did was he raised it up to, looking up to heavens.
Él solamente lo levantó mirando hacia el cielo.
Actually, he just took it,
Él lo cogió,
looking up to the heavens.
miró hacia arriba, hacia el cielo.
He gave thanks and broke the bread.
Él dio gracias y rompió el pan.
That was his action.
Esa fue su acción.
Sometimes when I'm praying, I'm like, Lord, multiply this food.
Muchas veces cuando oro, Señor, multiplica esta
There's a lot
comida.
of people up in my house right now. I want to make sure everybody eats.
Que quiero estar seguro que todo el mundo coma.
I mean, he didn't do all that.
Él no hizo nada de eso.
He just said thank you.
Solamente gracias.
And that thank you embarked a miracle.
Y esa gracia embarcó un milagro.
All right. So it says they all ate
Todos comieron,
and
dice,
were satisfied.
y fueron satisfechos.
So it's not like they just ate a little portion,
No es
of, like
solamente
a
que
crumb
comieron una porción pequeña
or like a migaja, like a crumb.
o migajas.
They actually ate, and it says, and they were satisfied.
Actualmente ellos comieron y se satisfacieron.
Have you ever eaten a meal and you're like, oh,
¿Tú has comido alguna vez que te has sentido, oh my
I'm
God,
feeling like a fat girl at a candy store?
me siento como una,
I ate good.
comí bien,
Or like, ooh, that felt real good in my stomach.
o se siente bien nice en mi estómago.
And I'm assuming that's, you know, I assume just because when they say they were satisfied,
Yo asumo cuando dice que fueron satisfechos.
that's how it felt. It was like, yum, yum, yum.
Eso es lo
Thanks
que
for the
sentí
growl.
como
You
yum,
know,
yum,
yeah, you
yum.
got, yeah, you got it. You know, like it's a good feeling.
Es un sentir bueno.
So they all ate.
So,
you
todos
know?
comieron.
And Jesus immediately at that moment, after they all had eaten,
Después, inmediatamente que todos comieron,
it literally says Jesus immediately put the disciples on the boat and sent them off.
Jesús puso los discípulos en el bote y los envió.
And he stood there
Y él se quedó ahí,
behind to say goodbye to every single person that was there.
Atrás-
Not like every single person individually,
atrás para decirle adiós a la gente que estaban ahí.
you know, but he made sure to dismiss the 20,000 plus people that were there.
Y él quería estar seguro de despedirse de las 25,000 personas que estaban ahí.
He made sure to stay behind, and he was like, I'm going to say goodbye to all of them, you know.
So, me voy a quedar aquí y decirle adiós a cada uno.
And he stood behind, it says, to dismiss the crowd. When you dismiss,
Cuando tú despides,
it's to place order,
es para traer orden,
it's to say goodbye.
para decir adiós.
He made sure
Él
and
estuvo seguro
to stay behind.
de quedarse atrás.
And how many leaders you know that stay behind and make sure they say goodbye to everybody?
¿Cuántos líderes nosotros conocemos que se quedan atrás para decir adiós?
How many pastors you know
¿Cuántos pastores ustedes conocen?
send the workers away
Envían a los trabajadores para afuera
and they stay there to make sure they say goodbye to everybody?
y se quedan ahí para estar seguros de decirle adiós a la
He's
gente.
giving us a lot to learn from this. Sometimes we don't look at these things because we're busy focused on the 5,000 that ate, but in reality it's 20,000 plus.
Muchas veces nos enfocamos en los 5,000, pero no miramos esta situación.
We don't look at the little details
No
where
miramos los
Jesus is talking
detalles
to us.
pequeños.
An example of him sending off the disciples,
Y los ejemplos de él, enviar a los discípulos
and he stays behind.
y él se quedó atrás.
And he makes sure. So he stood there.
So, él se quedó ahí.
It says that the boat was already far away.
So, que el bote ya estaba lejos.
And then when I looked it up in the Hebrew, it says it's stadia,
Cuando miro en el hebreo significa estadía.
which is like 600 feet away.
Significa 600 pies afuera.
So that was a distance. They were already far off. They were
Estaban
really
bastante lejos.
So we talk about in the fourth watch in the Bible in verse 24,
So, hablamos del versículo 24 que significa la cuarta vigilia.
and it says in the 24th verse, it says they were facing some waves and some contrary winds at that hour.
O sea, que estaban encontrando las olas que estaban altas.
And the fourth watch is like 3 a.m. to 6 a.m.
O sea, la cuarta vigilia es de 3 a 6 de la mañana.
You getting it? You got it? During those hours,
Durante esas horas,
that's when like it's calm generally.
generalmente el mar es calmado.
No, just in general, like we talking about us, not
Oh.
the old
Ok,
shit.
ya, generalmente es calmado. Yes.
But it's a lake.
Pero es un lago.
So it wasn't like an ocean that you would be having the winds and the storms.
No era que en el océano como que usted tenía las olas y todas esas cosas y el viento.
But at that specific hour,
Pero a esa hora específica,
from 3 to 6 a.m.,
de 3 a 6 de la mañana,
it was not calm.
no estaba calmado.
It was dark.
Era oscuro,
The winds were coming at them,
los vientos venían hacia ellos
and the waves were coming at them.
y las olas venían a
I
ellos.
want to paint a picture so you understand what they were facing, the disciples, without Jesus at that
Yo quiero
point.
que ustedes presten atención a lo que estaban pasando los discípulos y Jesús con las olas y los vientos.
Well, Jesus was on the shore. He was not on the boat with them at that
Jesús
point.
no estaba en el bote con ellos. Eso.
So storms can happen, right?
So, las tormentas pueden suceder.
You know, and we have to understand that during that hours, 3 to
Tenemos-
6,
Tenemos que entender que a través de esas horas de 3 a 6,
you know, in like say for instance Eastern Standard Time, our time at 3 to 6 a.m. What do you do?
en nuestro tiempo de 3 a 6 de la mañana, ¿qué usted hace?
What are you generally doing at
Está
3 to 6
durmiendo.
a.m.?
Durmiendo.
Sleep or work for those who work night shift.
Yes.
But generally, the majority of the people are sleeping at that hour.
Pero mayormente, generalmente la gente está durmiendo a esa hora.
They were on a boat
Ellos
to the
estaban
other side of the lake.
en un bote en el otro lado del lago.
And looking at more history, the ocean, that lake was about 5 miles long.
Y mirando un poco de historia, ese lago era alrededor de 5 millas de
Just so
largo.
you have a real understanding.
Para usted pueda tener un
The
entendimiento
walk that
mejor.
Jesus took was a little different now.
El caminar que Jesús tomó fue un poquito diferente ahora.
Now that I tell you it's 5 miles long.
Cuando le digo que fue 5 millas largo.
It wasn't like he was right here and he just walked up to them, you know.
No era que estaba aquí, Jesús caminó hasta ahí.
I need you to have this history.
Yo quiero que usted tenga esta historia.
We're not told all the details.
No nos han dicho todos los detalles.
We learned nursery when we were little kids. We learned the nursery rhymes, or we learned the Sunday school version of the word.
Cuando éramos pequeños aprendíamos lo que aprendíamos en la escuela bíblica los domingos, la versión de ellos.
But they don't go into the deep portions of the word.
Pero no iban a la parte profunda de la
The
palabra.
word changes when you think about 20,000 or more people eating.
La palabra cambia cuando dicen eran 20,000 personas o más.
When you
comiendo.
know 600 feet, they were further out than we imagined.
Cuando estaba a 600 pies afuera, allá veremos la imaginación de nosotros.
And then the lake is 5 miles long.
Y el lago era 5 millas
So
largo.
Jesus' walk could have been like a half hour long.
El caminar de Jesús pudo haber sido como alrededor de
If
media
you're
hora.
looking at people who do cross country,
Si tú miras a la gente que hace cross country,
like you can average 16 miles per mile.
ellos
16
principalmente
minutes, sorry.
16 minutos, una milla.
So it could have taken Jesus a couple hours to actually get to where they were at.
O sea, Jesús lo pudo haber tocado varias horas en llegar donde ellos estaban.
The walk is a different walk now,
El caminar es un diferente caminar ahora.
right? Puts the mind in a different place to see, to envision the process and the time.
O sea, para que podamos ver la visión y podamos el proceso. En lo que
Amen. I
va a
just want you
suceder.
to get that in your spirit.
Quiero que usted tome
So
tenga
he
eso.
gets to them. He finally gets to them.
So, finalmente él llegó a ellos.
And the first thing these goofballs say, because there's no other word for them,
Lo primero que estos dijeron,
like I'm just like, you're just dumb. Like he's walking with you.
él está caminando contigo,
He's spending time with you.
pasando tiempo
You're
contigo,
eating with this man 3 times minimum a day,
comiendo por lo menos al menos 3 veces al día,
unless Jesus is fasting, you know.
a menos que Jesús esté ayunando.
And right before he gets out on the lake, he's taking time to pray.
Y él toma tiempo para orar antes de llegar al
He
lago.
gets to you, and the first things out of your mouth is, it's a ghost.
Entonces él llega a ti y lo primero que tú dices es un fantasma.
It's a ghost. Like they couldn't even fathom that Jesus had walked to them on water.
No pudieron ver que era Jesús que estaba caminando
I would have been like, that's his normal.
en el agua.
like you're like, it's not that I would be either, because I'd probably be a little freaked out.
Tal vez pudiera estar un poquito asustada también,
But the reality is, I would never look at him and just assume it's a ghost.
pero la realidad no pude verlo a él y asumir que era un fantasma.
But you have to imagine the scene.
Pero tú tienes que imaginar la escena.
It's dark.
Era oscuro,
They're already miles into the water.
O sea, eran millas en el agua.
Nobody would assume that Jesus would be in the middle of the lake Nakamex and walking around.
Nadie podía asumir que Jesús estaba en el lago caminando a esa
Yeah, like you're not going to assume that. It's like, hey, Jesus, how you doing?
No
I'm
vas a
just here
asumir
hanging
eso.
out on the water.
Estoy aquí caminando en el agua.
But the scene wasn't like where we think about the normal lakes.
Pero la escena no indica la escena como nosotros estamos normalmente.
It was a dark hour.
Era era oscuro,
It was dark.
estaba oscuro.
There was waves coming at the boat.
Olas que venían
There
al
were
bote.
winds howling.
También los vientos que daban.
They were literally howling. You ever hear a wolf howl?
Nunca he oído los vientos
That's
cuando
what you
aullan.
refer to howling as,
Eso es lo que se refiere a eso.
right?
Yes.
So now you got sounds
So,
that
ahora
are
tienes
going.
sonidos,
You got waves coming at the boat.
olas que vienen al bote.
You're in the middle of the lake,
Estás en el medio del
basically,
lago
and Jesus decides he wants to take a stroll on the lake.
y Jesús decide de entonces caminar en el lago.
Now I might just say it's a ghost or
Tal vez
demonic.
ahora pueda decir es un fantasma.
In that aspect, I'll be like, I didn't expect that.
En ese aspecto tal vez yo no esperaba eso.
Right? Would you?
Amen.
Ujú.
You're going through something. You're going through some trials.
Basta a través de cierto
You know, trials, tribulaciones,
Tribulaciones, yeah.
and you know, when you see that,
Cuando
he
tú ves
gets,
eso,
he gets right up to the boat,
él está ahí al lado del bote.
and he's like, "Take courage.
Él dice, cálmense,
It is I."
soy yo.
And I'm being sarcastic because that's just me.
Yo
So
estoy
I'm
siendo
ass-
sarcástico porque
I'm
soy yo.
assuming Jesus is not like that, but the take courage has an exclamation.
Pero cuando él dice cálmense tiene una explicación.
When he says to them, "Take courage,"
Cuando él le dice a ellos cálmense,
he's not saying it nicely.
él no lo está diciendo de una forma bien.
Exclamation is something like yelling, like what we
Exclamación,
know, right?
exclamación es algo que significa
So
algo
it's
como
like, "Take
gritar.
courage,"
Es como decirle cálmense,
and then it's like, "It is I,"
yo soy,
because it has a period after.
Yes.
porque tiene un punto después.
Like in me, I'm like, "No brainer, it's me, Jesus, I got you.
Como decir, no, soy yo.
I got
Jesús.
this." And then he tells them, "Do not be afraid."
Y le dice, no tengas miedo.
So that's where we're going to be focusing today, in those three words or statements, because if you look at the take courage, it's a statement by itself.
So, eso es lo que nos vamos a enfocar hoy en esas tres. En esas
It
tres
is
palabras.
I
Yo soy,
is by itself as well.
es solo.
And then do not be afraid.
Y también dicen, no tengas miedo.
So how many miracles have you been a witness to in your life?
¿Cuántos milagros tú has sido testigo de?
Come on, talk. How many miracles?
¿Cuántos
How
milagros?
many? Can you count some miracles? You don't have to tell me them, but have you witnessed miracles in your life?
Ah, ¿Tú has sido testigo de milagros en tu vida?
Yes, right? Yes, we have. This church we have.
Yes.
I don't know about anybody else's church, but we have. So we've received healings.
Hemos recibido sanidad.
We've gone through some financial miracles.
Hemos ido por
Amen.
milagros.
We've gone through so many miracles.
Muchos milagros.
And the first one is our salvation.
Y el primero es la salvación.
Amen.
Amen.
So, hey, you know, the disciples saw all these miracles.
Los discípulos vieron este milagro.
And yet another one as he's walking on the
Yo-
ocean, I mean the lake.
Y otros más vinieron caminando encima del lago.
And during the, I'm talking about like the dark times in your life.
Y estoy mirándolo en la parte oscura de tu vida.
And I'm taking it to a spiritual level for us to apply this portion of the word,
Y lo estoy mirando en el nivel de algo espiritual para que podamos, esta porción de la palabra,
that we take that dark hour, that 3 to 6,
que cojamos esa parte oscura de 3 a 6 de nuestra vida
and look at it as trials and tribulations,
y la miramos como tribulaciones,
as temptations,
tentaciones,
as sin,
pecados
as moments that you've gone through some major stuff in your life,
y momentos en donde tú has ido en cosas dramáticas en tu vida,
that you've gone through stuff,
que tú has ido a través de cosas,
where waves are coming at you,
donde las olas han venido a ti,
where the winds are howling to bring fear.
donde los vientos han traído miedo a tu vida.
And what do you do at that moment?
¿Y qué tú haces en ese momento?
Do you give up?
¿Tú te das por vencido
Or do you go to Jesus?
o tú vas a Jesús?
Right? We've gone through stuff where everything seems wrong.
Cuando todo se aparentemente ve
Where
que
you're
está mal,
on that boat,
que tú estás en ese bote,
but Jesus is not on the boat with you.
pero Jesús no está en el bote
He's
contigo.
busy walking on the lake,
Él está ocupado caminando en el lago,
taking a couple hours to get to you, maybe.
tomando varias horas para llegar a ti,
But he's already coming.
pero Él viene.
He's coming to meet you at your need,
Él viene para encontrarte con tu necesidad.
and he's going to take that away.
Y Él va a sacar eso de ti.
But do you know who he is.
Pero tú sabes quién Él es.
And even if he says, I will not leave you or forsake you,
Aunque aún Él dice, no te desampararé,
he's already coming your way.
pero Él viene hacia ti.
His aim is in your direction.
Viene hacia tu dirección.
He's aiming towards your darkness.
Él viene a
He's
tu oscuridad
aiming towards the waves.
a través de las olas.
His aim is you, not the waves.
Tú no eres las olas.
He's coming for you.
Él viene por ti.
The waves and the winds,
Las olas y los vientos,
that means nothing to him.
mira, significan nada para Él.
I mean, he slept through the other time when he was on another boat.
Él durmió a través de todo eso cuando estaba en otro bote.
And that was, I think, ocean, right?
Ujú.
He's on an ocean
Estaba en el océano,
and he's on a boat.
estaba en el bote,
Waves are coming in.
las olas venían,
Everything's happening.
todo estaba sucediendo
Jesus is snoring.
y Jesús estaba roncando,
He's sleeping.
estaba durmiendo.
They had to wake him up.
Lo tuvieron que despertar.
I'm sorry we're going to interrupt your sleep, Jesus, but there's a storm. We might all die.
Perdona Jesús que interrumpimos tu sueño, pero hay una tormenta que está pasando aquí.
It's like storms mean nothing to him.
Las tormentas significan nada para Él.
Why do they mean something to you?
¿Por qué significan algo para ti?
Why?
¿Por qué?
Why do those dark moments overpower?
¿Por qué esos momentos oscuros te quitan el poder?
Why do they overpower the it is I in your life?
El poder del yo soy de tu vida.
I know.
Wow.
And then, I know. It's good. I know. I'm smiling more today. Joshua 1:9.
Josué 1:9.
You don't have to look it up. Stay where you're at. I want you to hear.
Quiero que usted lo oiga.
It says, "Have I not commanded you?
Yo te lo he ordenado.
Be strong and of good courage.
Sé fuerte y valiente.
Do not be afraid,
No tengas miedo.
nor be dismayed,
Ni te desanimes,
for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go."
porque el Señor tu Dios te acompañará donde quiera que vayas.
So, Jesus may not be on the boat because he's walking towards your direction,
Jesús tal vez no está en el bote, pero está caminando hacia esa dirección.
but the Lord your God
Pero Dios, el Señor tu Dios,
is with you wherever you go.
está contigo donde quiera que vayas.
So, even in those dark moments
Aún en esos momentos
where they
oscuros,
come from trials and
donde
tribulations,
vienen tribulaciones,
they come from temptations,
que vienen tentaciones,
even during moments of sin.
aún en momentos de pecado.
And I want us to understand that.
Y quiero que entendamos esto.
I believe a true believer,
Yo creo que un creyente real,
even when they sin,
aún cuando peca,
they don't walk away from the Lord.
no camina fuera del Señor.
You sinned,
Pecaste,
repent,
arrepiéntete
and sin no more.
y no peques más.
Amen.
You don't run away.
Tú no corres,
Do you care more about what people think than God thinks?
tú te importa más lo que la gente piensa que lo que piensa Dios.
Because you see people run away from the church, but they run away from God too.
Tú has visto a la gente que corren de la iglesia, pero corren de Dios también.
So is your relationship with man or is it with God?
¿Tu relación es con el hombre o con Dios?
Ooh.
Do you fear more what man would say
¿Tú tienes más miedo de lo que el hombre dice
or what God would say?
o lo que Dios podrá decir?
Amen.
Just things to think about.
So, piensa en estas
He's
cosas.
with you wherever you go.
Él está contigo donde quiera que tú vayas.
So why do we sit in fear?
So, ¿cuál entonces nosotros tenemos temor?
Why are we concerned about the waves?
¿Por qué nosotros nos preocupamos por las olas?
Why are we concerned about the winds?
¿Por qué nos preocupamos por los vientos?
Why are we concerned that the boat might just turn over?
¿Por qué nos preocupamos si el bote tal vez se pueda virar?
Who cares?
¿Quién le importa?
To be absent in the body is to be present with God.
Ser ausente del cuerpo, estar presente con Dios.
So you die a little,
So, tú mueres
and then you get to live a lot
y puedes vivir más
because you're going to be with God.
porque vas a estar con Dios.
Not that you're aiming to commit suicide.
No
I'm
es que
just kind of
estamos
like being clear about that.
diciendo esto para que la gente se suicide o algo.
Make sure I'm very clear about these things.
Sí, quiero estar claro con estas cosas.
So when Jesus is talking to them, when you're in those dark times,
Cuando tú estás en esos momentos oscuros,
Jesus is going to speak.
Jesús va a hablar.
Amen.
But you need to pay attention
Pero tú tienes que prestar atención
because you're having the winds
porque tú tienes los vientos
and they're howling at you.
y están aullando a ti.
And when we think of howling, we think of wolves.
Y cuando hablamos de aullar, hablamos de lobos.
And when we think of wolves, we think of the enemy,
Y cuando pensamos en lobos, pensamos en el enemigo.
right?
Amen.
So you got howling winds coming at
Tú
you.
tienes los vientos aullando hacia ti.
And howling winds, wolves, the enemy,
Los lobos, el enemigo, los vientos aullando.
they come to rob, kill, and destroy.
Vienen a robar, matar y destruir.
But if they rob your security and your faith and your love in God,
Pero si roban tu seguridad y tu amor a Dios,
what have they replaced it with?
¿cómo lo van a reemplazar? ¿Con qué lo van a reemplazar?
Fear.
Con temor, miedo.
Yeah, with fear. Mhm. So he says,
So, él lo dijo.
take courage.
So, cálmense.
You know, and he said it with that strength.
Él lo dijo con esa fuerza.
Take courage,
Cálmense.
right?
Amen.
Vamos suave.
No, and it's actually coraje, like get the courageousness. So I don't know how you could change that word. Courageous. Coraje sounds anger,
Yeah, yeah.
but I'm trying to
Tengan ánimo.
ánimo. Tengan ánimo. Yeah, because you need to get that courage. You need to get that boldness.
Tú tienes que tener esa audacia, ese coraje.
Yeah, you
Ese
need to be
ánimo.
like, take courage.
So, tengan ánimo.
It's me,
Soy yo,
Jesus.
Jesús.
Like when Jesus comes to you and you hear those words,
Cuando Jesús viene a ti, tú oyes esas palabras.
how do you feel?
¿Cómo tú te sientes? Secure.
Happy. So,
Perfect love.
Secure.
No, stop it. Get out of my message. To hear the familiar tones
Oír las lenguas familiares
of Jesus.
de Jesús.
What does it bring to you?
¿Qué te trae a ti?
When Jesus says take courage,
Cuando Jesús te dice, ten ánimo.
when perfect love is standing there talking to you.
Cuando el amor perfecto está parado ahí hablando con
First of all, let's talk about that. I'll be like, you're just showing off. You're on top of the water, Jesus.
So, Jesús te está mostrando aquí, tú estás encima del agua.
It's like, you like to show off all the time.
Te estás luciendo todo el tiempo.
Being
Jesús.
Jesus, God, the Trinity.
So, Jesús.
I'll be like, that's good. That's a good one.
Yo diría, wow, está bueno eso.
I'd enjoy that first, right?
Ujú. No me gocé al principio,
You
¿verdad?
start forgetting the waves.
Entonces comienzas a olvidarte de las olas,
You forget about the winds.
te olvidas de los vientos,
Because before you is your Savior.
porque delante de ti está tu Salvador.
He's on the water.
Él está en el agua,
He's saving you.
te está salvando
And he's just standing there talking to you.
y está parado ahí hablando contigo.
Can you imagine yourself like face to face with Jesus?
¿Tú te imaginas tú mismo hablando cara a cara con Jesús?
It changes the whole entire atmosphere of that dark hour,
So, cambia toda la atmósfera a esa hora oscura.
right? In scripture,
En las palabras,
courage is to have good cheer,
tener ánimo significa tener buen ánimo, eso,
to have boldness,
tener audacia,
to have confidence.
confianza.
God commands us to not fear.
El Señor nos insta a no tener miedo.
He encourages us to have that courage
Él nos anima a nosotros para tener ese ánimo.
and boldness and confidence in who?
Audacia y confianza en quién.
When you trust, who do you trust?
Cuando tú confías en que tú confías.
God.
Right? So when you trust in God, why has fear overtaken you?
Cuando tú confías en Dios, ¿por qué entonces el miedo toma lugar en ti?
Then he says to the disciples, after he's talking about, take courage, right?
Entonces le dice a los discípulos, después que le digo, tengan ánimo,
It is I.
yo soy.
Like, this is a no-brainer.
Esto no es lo que tiene el cerebro para esto.
It's me, Jesus.
Soy yo, Jesús.
It is I.
Soy yo.
If you look at the Old Testament,
Si tú miras el Viejo Testamento,
the Lord always said, I am who I am.
el Señor siempre dice, yo soy el que soy.
And in the New Testament,
Y en el Nuevo Testamento
Jesus says, it is I.
dice, yo soy.
And that's something that I saw.
Y algo que yo vi,
When you go through the darkness and trials of life,
cuando tú vas a través de la oscuridad y las persecuciones en tu vida,
Jesus says, it is I.
Jesús dice, yo soy,
It is I.
yo soy.
And who is Jesus?
¿Quién es Jesús?
When he says, it is I,
Cuando Él dice, yo soy,
what does that mean?
¿qué eso significa?
When you're in darkness,
Cuando tú estás en oscuridad,
when you're in sickness,
cuando tú estás en
it is
enfermedad,
I is your healer.
yo soy es tu sanador.
When you're poor,
Cuando estás pobre,
it is I, your provider.
yo soy es tu proveedor.
If you're dead,
Si tú estás muerto,
it is I,
yo soy
the life,
la vida,
resurrection.
la resurrección.
If you're dealing with lies,
Si tú estás bregando con mentiras,
it is I,
yo soy
the truth.
es la verdad.
If you're dealing with unfaithfulness,
Si estás bregando con falta de fe,
it is I,
yo soy
the lover of your soul,
el amor de tu alma.
and I'm faithful.
y yo soy fiel.
If you're dealing with addiction,
Si estás bregando con adicción,
it is I.
yo soy
Freedom.
tu libertad.
Whatever your situation, whatever you're dealing with,
Cualquier situación que estás bregando en tu vida,
it is I is applicable.
yo sé es aplicable.
He's applicable to everything.
Aplicable para todo.
Names of Jesus.
Nombre de Jesús,
Almighty One.
el Todopoderoso,
Alpha and Omega.
Alfa y Omega,
Advocate.
abogado,
Author and perfecter of our faith.
el autor y profesional de nuestra fe,
Authority.
autoridad,
Bread of life.
pan de vida,
Beloved Son of God.
amado Hijo de Dios,
Bridegroom.
el novio,
Chief cornerstone.
la piedra angular,
Deliverer.
el libertador,
Faith and true.
el fe y verdad,
Good shepherd.
buen pastor,
Great high priest.
el sacerdote alto, yes,
Head of the church.
cabeza de la iglesia,
Holy servant.
el serviente
I
santo.
am.
Yo soy
Emmanuel.
Emanuel,
Indescribable gift.
el regalo indescriptible,
Judge.
juez,
King of kings.
rey de reyes,
The Lamb of God.
cordero de Dios,
The light of the world.
luz del mundo,
Lion of the tribe of Judah.
el león de la tribu de Judá,
Lord of all.
Dios de todos,
Mediator.
mediador,
Messiah.
Mesías,
Mighty one.
el poderoso,
One who sets free.
aquel que nos hizo libre,
Our hope.
nuestra esperanza,
Peace.
paz,
Prophet.
profeta,
Redeemer.
redentor,
Risen Lord.
resucitado Dios,
Rock.
la piedra,
Sacrifice for our sins.
sacrificado por nuestros pecados,
Savior.
Salvador,
Son of man.
hijo de hombre,
Son of the Most High.
hijo del más alto,
Supreme creator of all.
el creador supremo de todo,
Resurrection and the life.
resurrección y vida,
The door.
la puerta,
The
el
way.
camino,
The word.
la verdad,
True vine. La vid.
la vid verdadera, perdón,
Truth.
la verdad,
Victorious one.
el victorioso,
Wonderful counselor.
el consolador grandioso,
Mighty God.
poderoso Dios,
Everlasting Father.
eterno Padre,
And Prince of Peace.
príncipe de paz.
Those are just a couple names
Son algunos varios nombres.
of who it is I is.
¿Quién es el yo soy?
Amen.
Look at it is I a little different,
So, mira a yo soy un poco diferente.
right?
Amen.
So what are you going through today, Jackie?
So, que tú estás atravesando en el día de hoy.
What you dealing with?
¿Qué tú estás bregando con?
That's a question.
Oh,
What are you dealing with?
with love, but
What are you dealing with?
love.
What are you dealing with? Out with it. Because then I'm going to tell you who it is I is.
Porque te voy a decir quién es yo soy.
A lot of pain.
A lot of pain.
Que mucho
He's your
dolor.
healer.
Él es tu sanador.
Emotional,
Emocional,
spiritual,
espiritual,
physical.
físico.
And he is forgiveness.
Y Él es el perdón.
You have to forgive.
Tienes que perdonar.
When we are operating with the Lord,
Cuando operamos con el Señor,
we have to forgive
tenemos que
so
perdonar
that we too can be forgiven.
para que podamos ser perdonados.
You can't let offense come in.
No puedes dejar que la ofensa entre.
What are Jesus' words to the people
¿Cuáles fueron las palabras de Jesús a la gente?
or to the Lord?
¿O al Señor? A Dios.
Forgive them, for they do not know what they do.
Perdónalos porque ellos no saben lo que hacen.
They don't know what they do.
Ellos no saben lo que hacen.
They don't know what they're doing against you and against your God.
Ellos no saben lo que hacen en contra tuya o Dios.
Because they're so bound by the enemy.
Porque están tan atados al enemigo.
And you cannot let yourself be offended.
No puedes dejar de tu misma que te ofendan.
It is I,
Yo soy
your healer.
tu sanador.
It is I,
Yo soy
your attorney.
tu abogado.
I fight for you.
Yo peleo por ti.
Amen.
When we know who it is I is,
Cuando sabemos quién es el yo soy,
we're different in our trials.
somos diferentes en nuestras
We're
tribulaciones.
different in our tribulations.
Somos diferentes en nuestros momentos
We're
difíciles.
different even in temptations,
Somos diferentes aún en las tentaciones.
even when we fail and sin.
Aún cuando caemos en pecado.
Because we know who to go to, and the enemy can't tell us anything less.
Porque sabemos hacia dónde ir y el enemigo no nos puede decir nada.
I failed,
Yo fallé,
but I know Jesus.
pero yo conozco a Jesús.
I know my healer.
Yo conozco a mi
I know my
Salvador.
Redeemer.
Yo sé quién es mi
I
Redentor.
know the truth.
Yo sé la verdad.
I know the way.
Yo sé el camino.
I know who gives me life.
Yo sé quién me dio vida.
All different.
Todo
Right.
diferente.
Are we seeing differently?
¿Estamos viendo lo diferente?
Amen. After he said this to the disciples,
Después que le dijo esto a los discípulos,
you think they would have had a clue?
¿tú crees que ellos tuvieron algún tipo de pista de algo?
He had to then tell them, do not be afraid.
Tuvo que decirle después a ellos, no tengan miedo.
He ends with,
Y él terminó con,
do not be afraid.
no tengan miedo.
Fear
El miedo, el temor,
is the spirit of the enemy.
es un espíritu del enemigo.
First of John 4:18 it says,
Primera de Juan 4:8 nos dice,
there is no fear in love,
porque no hay temor en el amor,
but perfect love
pero el amor perfecto
drives out all fear,
echa fuera el temor.
because fear has to do with punishment.
Porque el temor tiene que ver con castigo.
The one who fears is not made perfect in love.
El que tiene temor no está hecho con el perfecto amor.
So why are we dealing with fear?
Entonces, ¿cómo bregamos con el temor?
Why are we dealing with that? Why
¿Por
are
qué?
you dealing with fear?
¿Por qué bregamos entonces?
Why am I dealing with fear?
¿Por qué yo estoy bregando con el temor?
If we have perfect love,
Si tenemos perfecto amor,
fear can't be involved.
el temor no puede estar envuelto.
There was times where we've had different things happen to us,
Hubo un momento en que teníamos cosas que nos estaban sucediendo.
and a car blew up,
El carro explotó,
literally blew up.
literalmente.
And my answer to Pastor Angel was,
La razón, la contestación para el pastor Ángel fue,
my answer to him
mi contestación hacia él.
was, maybe this is God's way to tell us to get a new car.
So, tal vez esta sea la forma que Dios está diciendo que obtengamos un carro nuevo.
Mind you, there was fire and fire trucks and police.
Decirle que estaban los bomberos, estaba la policía,
I was at the movies with the kids.
estaba en el teatro con los niños.
And you know, like we always talk about this story and how funny it was.
So, siempre hablamos de esta historia y tan gracioso que es,
But really it wasn't.
pero no era así.
Because if he sat down in that car and the whole car blew up,
Si él hubiera estado sentado ahí, el carro explotó.
the story today would be a little different.
La historia de hoy hubiera sido un poco diferente.
And we know we don't operate in fear.
Sabemos que no operamos en miedo.
We have to learn to look at the things a little different.
Tenemos que aprender a ver las cosas un poco diferentes.
When we operate with the mind of Christ,
Cuando operamos con la mente de Cristo,
when we look at things, they don't seem big
pero miramos las cosas y no se ven tan grandes.
because we're looking from heaven down.
Porque miramos del cielo hacia abajo.
Situation with the family,
Situación con la familia
that's easy for Jesus.
es fácil para Jesús.
Situation with our finances,
La situación con la finanza
that's easy for Jesus.
es fácil para Jesús.
We just gotta trust him.
Pero hay que confiar en Él.
Amen.
So, why do we? You ever heard anybody say in the Word they have do not fear 365 times? You've ever heard that when people said
¿Tú
that?
nunca has oído antes que alguien diga la palabra que hay no tengas miedo 365 veces?
They've said like there's one fear for every day.
Es decir, que
No
hay-
fear.
no hay miedo por cada día.
O no temas.
No temas por cada
Or
día.
like do not fear. They say that there's a Bible verse for every single day of the year.
Es decir, que hay un versículo bíblico para cada día.
Actually,
Actualmente,
fear is spoken over 500 times in the Bible.
el temor está hablando en la Biblia alrededor de 500 veces.
Over 500 times.
Sobre 500.
That tells you
Nos dice
that it is an important topic as well.
que es un tópico importante también.
The enemy uses different tactics,
El enemigo usa diferentes tácticas,
but his number one tactic is fear.
pero la número uno es el miedo, el temor.
But there's over 500 verses about fear.
Pero hay alrededor de más de 500 versículos que
That's
nos
because
hablan,
it's a real thing.
porque es algo real,
It's something that's going to come back,
porque es algo que va a regresar
and it's going to try to come at you.
y va a tratar de venir a ti.
I have had fear,
Yo he tenido miedo, temor.
not so much of getting things done or anything,
No es temor de terminar las cosas, ¿ven?
but that I don't measure up.
Pero que no las mido.
No. I don't measure up to other people.
Okay.
Where what that means is
Lo que quiero decir
is that, say for instance, all these people have doctorates, right?
es decir, que todas estas personas tienen un doctorado
And I'm coming in with just a bachelor's.
y vengo con solamente un bachillerato,
But the Lord has given me a word.
pero el Señor me ha dado una palabra
And I've always had fear
y siempre he tenido temor
that I don't measure up to that.
o que no me mido a la estatura de ellos.
But then the Lord uses me,
Pero el Señor me usa
and then it's all for His glory.
y todo para su gloria.
It's not to say that I'm not going to educate myself. I'm studying.
No estoy diciendo que es que no me quiero educar yo, pero
But
estoy
sometimes
estudiando.
I'm like, how are they going to receive me? If the enemy tries to put that doubt, that fear,
Pero entonces, ¿cómo el enemigo me dice, me pregunto, ¿cómo el Señor me va a usar a mí?
I'm not smart enough.
No soy inteligente suficiente.
I'm not qualified enough.
No estoy cualificada.
They're all doctorates
Todos son ellos doctores
in like divinity, in theology.
en divinidad y en teología.
And here I come in with my bachelor's in business.
Y yo vengo aquí con mi bachillerato en negocio,
But a relationship with God.
por una relación con Dios.
And when I talk,
Y cuando hablo,
you know, people come back at me.
la gente viene a mí.
And I don't need the compliment.
Yo no necesito el complemento.
It has helped me at the beginning.
Me ayudó al principio,
But my relationship with the Lord
pero mi relación con el Señor
has made me feel secure enough to continue forward.
me ha hecho sentir segura para continuar así.
You want me to speak?
¿Tú quieres que yo hable?
I'm not going to say, are you sure you want me to speak? That's insecurity. That's fear.
No, no, ¿estás seguro? No, eso es inseguridad.
That's fear.
Eso es miedo.
We don't operate in fear. We
No, but-
operate in perfect love.
No operamos en eso, operamos en el
And it
perfecto.
says it casts out all fear.
Dice echar fuera todas.
So even that insecurity and that fear that I don't measure up,
Toda esa inseguridad y miedo que no me mido como ellos,
even that has to go.
aún eso se tiene que ir.
Amen?
Amen.
So we look at statistics.
Miramos las estadísticas,
There's top 10 reasons people fear.
las 10 cosas que la gente más teme.
Fear of getting old,
El miedo de que llegara viejo,
fear of being poisoned.
de ser envenenado.
These are top 10 reasons. I really looked it
Son
up on statistics.
las primeras 10.
It says fear of being a coward,
Miedo a ser cobarde,
a germophobia,
germafobia,
fear of bacterias.
el miedo a las bacterias, de bacterias.
That's Thomas and I. Fear of going crazy.
Miedo de ser loco, de volverse loco.
Fear of intimacy.
El miedo de la intimidad.
And that's why
Ese es el por qué
many churches have that struggle getting people into intimacy with God.
que muchas iglesias tienen esa batalla de llevar a la gente a la intimidad.
Because people fear.
Porque la gente tiene
Intimacy.
miedo.
They fear commitment.
Tienen miedo a compromiso.
Because they're applying their human relationship
Porque-
examples of the past
Porque están aplicando sus relaciones humanas del pasado
to the relationship with God.
a las relaciones con Dios.
So you're bringing in drama,
Estás trayendo drama,
the history,
la historia,
into the relationship, which is the best relationship you'll have.
en relación que es la mejor relación con Jesús.
Fear of spiders,
Miedo a las
Anybody?
arañas,
fear of rats,
a las ratas,
cockroaches,
cucarachas,
snakes,
culebras, serpientes,
airplanes,
aviones,
monsters,
monstruos,
demons,
demonios,
mirrors,
espejos
high heels.
y
That's
tacos.
on it. It's on the list.
Tacos.
Social phobias,
La fobia social,
fear of public speaking.
hablar en público.
A lot of people fear that.
Mucha gente tiene miedo a eso.
I don't fear public speaking.
No tengo miedo al hablar públicamente.
I've feared what people would think.
Yo tengo miedo a lo que la gente pueda pensar.
Yeah, those were the things. Agoraphobia, fear of open spaces.
Agorafobia, que es el miedo a los lugares espaciosos.
The top two,
Las dos primeras,
fear of death.
el miedo a la muerte.
People fear death.
La gente tiene miedo a la muerte.
The word says that for us, death is gain.
La Biblia nos dice que morir para nosotros es ganancia.
We shouldn't be crying and like going crazy about death.
No debíamos de llorar y tal, volvernos locos por
No,
la muerte.
llorar, like you just go crazy about it, you know?
De ser tan loco con esto.
There's nothing wrong with missing the person.
No es nada malo de que te haga falta una
There's
persona.
nothing wrong with mourning a death. It's biblical.
No es nada malo que tú enlutes una persona, eso es algo bíblico.
The word says that the Lord is close to those who.
La Biblia nos dice que Jesús está cerca a aquellos que tienen...
So that means if you're in pain
Decir que si tú estás en dolor,
because you've lost a loved one,
si tú has perdido
He's
uno,
closer.
Él está más cercano.
That's
a
the
ti.
season He gets closer,
Esa es donde Él está más cerca.
even if you don't feel Him or see Him.
Aunque tú no lo sientas que Él está ahí.
Fear of death. So we know that one. That's number two. Number one.
Número 1,
What do you think is number one?
Fear fights.
I just wanted to kind of like get fear of loneliness,
El temor a la soledad.
fear to be alone.
El temor a estar solo.
And when you look at why people sin
Si tú miras por qué la gente peca
or why they do things that are not okay,
o por qué hacen cosas que no están bien,
number one reasons are,
la razón número uno es
some of the reasons,
alguna de ellas
they're hungry.
que tienen hambre.
You ever get nasty when you're hungry?
Alguna gente se pone vago cuando tienen hambre.
That's why they call it hangry. Hungry? I know.
Hambre,
You're tired.
cansado.
Are you miserable when you're tired?
Cuando te cansas te pones miserable,
Right? Lonely
solo
and angry.
y con ira, enojado.
So you have to watch yourself.
Tienes que mirarte a ti mismo.
If you start getting snappy with people,
Si comienzas a estar así hablando con la gente,
it's like, am I tired?
estoy
Do
cansado.
a self-check.
Hazte un autochequeo,
Am
autoevaluación.
I hungry?
Tengo hambre.
Do I need to grab a Snickers bar?
Tengo que coger un Snickers
Do I
bar.
need to check myself with Jesus?
Tengo que verificarme con Jesús.
But yeah, fear of loneliness.
Pero el temor a la soledad.
That's the number one.
Esa es la número uno.
Yeah, fear of loneliness. So I want us to know that in the midst of the darkness,
Quiero que ustedes entiendan que en el medio de la oscuridad, en medio de la oscuridad,
and in the midst of all that,
en medio de todo esto,
after Jesus tells you to take courage,
después que Jesús te dice, ten ánimo,
he tells you who he is.
Él te dice quién
It
Él
is
es.
I.
Yo soy.
I'm here for anything and everything you need during
Yo
this
estoy
time.
aquí para cualquier cosa y para todo lo que necesites.
And he tells you, do not be afraid.
Y te dice, no tengas miedo.
Look at it a little different. The
Miramos.
disciples were scared when they saw him,
Los discípulos tuvieron miedo cuando lo vieron,
but he,
pero Él,
perfect love,
amor perfecto,
the it is I,
el yo soy,
said, do not be afraid.
y no tengas miedo.
So no more fear.
No más miedo.
Time to hear Jesus over the noise.
Es tiempo de oír a Jesús por encima de los
It's
sonidos.
time to hear Jesus over the voices that tell you you're never going to do it.
Es tiempo de oír a Jesús por encima de las voces que te digan que tú no puedes.
It's time to hear Jesus tell you,
Es tiempo de oír a Jesús que te diga,
take courage.
ten ánimo,
It is I.
yo soy,
Do not be afraid.
no tengas miedo.
Amen?
Amén.
Amen.
God bless you all.